Om Jananim Sharadam Devim Ramakrishnam Jagadgurum Padapadme Tayo Shritva Pranamami Muhurmuhu. M is asking whether he can increase his earnings. Sri Ramakrishna says yes. There is no harm in earning more. It is permissible to do so to maintain a religious family. An important instruction, though the modern trend is to earn and enjoy. To earn and live a decent life with God as the center of attention. The whole thing, your life must go around God as the center point. Waking up, you must be able to think of God. While ablutions, morning, you must be able to think of God. While cooking, while eating, in and through all activities, you must be able to think of the divine, think of God, think of the welfare of others. Religious family is family which pays off all the debts due to the others. Suppose I have been learning, knowledge is flowing through me, into me from various sources. I have gurus, teachers. I have been a child in a particular family where a tradition is flowing of knowledge, its own knowledge, whatever be it. So I am indebted to the knowledge source. I have to pay back debt. The society is maintaining my life in various ways. Somebody is plowing, somebody is weaving, all these things. I have to do my part and give to them. So the other lives on the earth are helping my life, indirectly or directly. Look at the plants, they are sacrificing. Animals are sacrificing their flesh to eat. Vegetarians totally depend upon every morsel of rice they eat. Each grain is sacrificing its life. So how do you repay that debt? It will not be sufficient by paying off the cost of the rice. It is life-giving. It has given its life to maintain your life. Where are you going to invest it? So all these debts you have towards Rishi, towards the society, other beings, towards the people who are born with us, the king who is maintaining, protecting us. So many things we have to repay. Taxes, all these come under those things. Having paid all these finely and maintaining whole family is dedicated to it. What can I give to whom? What can I give to whom? Towards God, towards the festivals, all things they spend. More they earn, more they spend. Poor people, they support. You earn more, you will give more. So you see that this is called religious family, which trusts in God, which understands how his life is going depending on others and how he can participate in, give his best to the society in whatever way. One is farmer, I am something else. I am giving my product, he is giving his product to the society. So in what way you are going to sacrifice, give, provide. Then consciously you will do all these acts. While before you eat, you pray for all those who are without food. These are all religious part. You may try to increase your income, but in an honest way. Because I have to get more money, I cannot tell a lie, I cannot get corruptions and earn. These are all dishonest ways, the wrong way of going, committing some adulteration and getting money. The goal of life, then Sri Ramakrishna comes to a higher truth. You may earn, you will have to follow the honest way of earning. The goal of life is not earning money, but the service of God. Here, religious, why we are, Sri Ramakrishna using the term religious, is dharmikata. Dharma is to live in line of the nature's laws. Nature has its own laws. And if you follow the nature's law, then it is dharmika jivana. The dharma has two more aspects. One is moral perfection, by which you are also not harmed, others also are not harmed. There is moral, this one. And another, trust in God and faith in God's existence. These are two important parts of the religion. And of course, other aspects of life governed by the religious injunctions. So, the important part is, why are you doing all, in and through all activities, what do you want? Is to see that the services are reaching God. But the goal of life is not earning money, but the service of God. What all you do, whether you feed a hungry person or give education to someone, or any services you do, philanthropic works you do, or your own learning and education, everything must ultimately lead you to God. Money is not harmful if it is devoted to the service of God. God, what exactly do we mean God here? Is whatever be our understanding of God. But the end point, it must be tasmin tushte jagat tushtam. Whatever you do, it is He who must be pleased in and through all your activities. Your studies, even at old age, you may study some scriptures or something. All those things must be helpful, reach to you when it reaches God. The God is all-pervading consciousness. You can worship Him, you can serve Him in any way. Watering a plant can be a service unto God. Serving a man can be doing your duties of life, earning, anything can be worship of God. What is your attitude towards it? If you change the attitude, if house belongs to God, maintaining it is God's worship. If it belongs to you, it is karma. You are doing your karma. So the attitude changes means everything is going to become a worship. So here service of God means in your awareness and behind the intention behind the act and your awareness must be filled with divine. How long should a man, M is asking again a question. How long should a man feel obliged to do his duty towards his wife and children? It's a great responsibility to discharge. Somehow people enter into family life then they see they are getting exhausted. They feel disinterested. They feel when these things will come to an end. In the early period, man will not understand. He will rush, he will enjoy, move about freely. Then a period of saturation comes when he turns to the spiritual life, or he gets exhausted, or some diseases, these that interfere, poverty, so many things, or some great calamities can happen. And anyway, either through evolution or through disappointment, he feels it is enough for him. So, how long should I do? How long should a person do? He is filled with a little spirit of renunciation, love of God, and all. In Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna and Thakur, Sri Ramakrishna, says, you cannot renounce and go away your spiritual practices. You cannot leave and go away your worldly duties also. For the sake of spiritual life, you cannot give up the worldly duties. This is an important thing. What all duties have to do to the family, as long as you are in the family and as long as you are capable, once you have entered and taken the responsibility, you cannot run away from that. You have to do the fulfillment to a particular stage where all dependents are independent. Then you can be free. This is what Bhagavad Gita also teaches, how to live in the world and attain God. How to discharge your duties of life in a way that it is not going to bind you anymore. How to get rid of the bondages that you already got formed. So here Sri Ramakrishna says, as long as they feel the pinch for food and clothing, he's asking, how long should a man be obliged to do the duty towards wife and children? As long as they feel pinched for food and clothing. Suppose they don't get food, then they feel pinched. They feel so pained, difficult. Similarly, clothing. You must provide, if they are getting sufficient food and clothing, it is sufficient. Comforts and luxuries are omitted. But one need not take the responsibility of a son when he is able to support himself. Once their education is over, once they stand on their own legs, after that you are free. And if he is capable, he is fit, he is ready for taking the his own responsibility and working out, after that, father need not take care of the son. He has to take care of himself and his family now. When the young fledgling learns to pick its own food, the mother pecks it if it comes to her for food. Birds, you can see. A bird, when he keeps the egg with great care and love, she makes it hatch. Then when the chicks come out, she runs here, there to get the food and feed them. Chicks also helplessly, no wings yet. They will be struggling, and nature provides the wings also. One day the wings, mother sees the wings are ready to fly. It pushes away the chick from the nest. It struggles to, while falling down, beating the wings, and it is able to take now its own food. The mother will not give. It pecks and sends it away. How long must one do one's duty? Again, the same question comes, you see. How long should one do one's duty? Here, each time a M is asking duty, he missed the duty in the world. He forgets that sadhana is also a part of his own duty. The blossom drops off when the fruit appears. One does not have to do one's duty after attainment of God. How clear you see. Nor does it feel like doing then. Sri Ramakrishna is giving the example of a flower comes and flower is there to complete the pollination and the fruit to grow. And once the fruit comes, the moment the gourd is developing, very next day it starts fading away. And when the fruit is ready, getting ready, this flower falls off. The purpose is over. So, realization God is the purpose for which you are doing all your duties. Sri Ramakrishna takes the term duty to include all the duties, external world duty as well as the spiritual practices as the duty of his life. Both end when one realizes God. Both he's doing sadhana and the work in the world to maintain his family or whatever it is. He is doing them for the purpose of realization of God. Once the God realization is over, both this external and internal work drops off. If a drunkard takes too much of liquor, he cannot retain consciousness. Drunkard, if he drinks, he no more can excessive, too much, retain consciousness. If he takes only 2 or 3 glasses, he can go on with his work. As you advance nearer and nearer to God, He will reduce your activities little by little. Have no fear. An important assurance. Ma bhihi. Don't be afraid. He is asking with respect to himself, his own position, his own status, his own struggle, and it applies to all of us, as if he's asking on our behalf also. For the question, how long should one do his duties? If the drunkard, he says, till you realize God. And if a drunkard takes too much of liquor, then he's if 1 or 2 glasses he takes, he can go on with his work. How long must one do the duty? Because he has taken 1 or 2 glasses, he is able to attend to some activities of his. Here, what does it bring me? The getting rid of ego. Now, if you are able to apply your ego anywhere else, you must do your duty also. I am doing spiritual practices, I want to dedicate completely. I say and I retire from all activities, but I am applying elsewhere my ego. Today food is not good, I am going to take this here, that one there. Ego is continuing in different ways. He has given up the only duties. He is applying there elsewhere his ego. Kartritva, doership he is applying. I will do this, I will do that. Then, if he is applying here and there, he must be able to apply in his duties also. Duty, it becomes the question of ego. Doership. If you are keeping doership anywhere, if you have ego of doership anywhere, you have to do the duties here also. Otherwise, when the doership completely goes off, that is, a man has become conscious by drinking, he cannot retain his ego anymore of doership. Then God will take care and take all his responsibilities to fulfill the needs as well as what are his attainments to achieve. As you advance nearer and nearer to God, He will reduce your activities little by little. Have no fear. Slowly we learn to walk in spiritual life. It is exactly like a small infant learning to stand and walk. The same way we too do. Now and then the child falls down, again struggles, but each fall of the child is building up a foundation stone. It's putting a foundation stone, is one day running. And the second thing is, because there is no intention or desire behind, and nature is making it do, nature takes the entire responsibility also. Each time child falls down while trying to get up and walk, you see it is not hurt. If the same man falls down at a later age, you see has already broken one or two bones. An infant standing, it will fall, trying to stand up or walk, nothing happens to that child because Mother Nature is taking care of it. Similarly in sadhana, you will be now and then falling, but Mother sees that you are not hurt. You are fully taken care because you are on the right path. The day you decide that I must walk on the path to realization of God, I have to go, then one by one responsibility will be reduced from nature and God start taking the responsibility. To the extent, suppose because of excessive love of God or your inability to do other works, in getting merged in the sadhana, getting immersed in the sadhana, you are not able to do. Everything will be taken care by the Lord. He will reduce, you'll put someone, something, or make some adjustment in such a way, your work goes on. A person may come and take your responsibility. Oh, I will do this from today. Some friend may tell, some person may tell. All this is governed by a special power which we usually call Vidyamaya. Avidyamaya. Avidyamaya binds, Vidyamaya tries to release the soul from all bondages. So she will see that your work is reduced. He will reduce your activities little by little. Have no fear. Have no fear. Sri Ramakrishna is giving assurance if you go in the right path, depending on God, for the sake of God, and do all your duties and activities of life, small amount of sadhana, then have no fear. Means it is indirect way of telling, I am there with you. I take your responsibilities. Suppose somebody says, have no fear, means he is giving assurance of taking care of you always. Finish the few duties you have on hand, and then you will have peace. See, I have a child who is going to school. He is, by grace of God, he is finishing his education in a few years, a year or two. Suppose I have bought some land to cultivate, and I am making some arrangements to put permanent trees or something. It's all these things are on the way. A small duties. I have to buy the plants and sow them. Put those plants. And I must see that a year I have to wait to finish his education, my son's education, and so I'm struggling. Through prayer and other means, I'm trying to support that life, and I'm trying to get rid of all the bonds that the act may create. Through all these means, I'm trying to finish off my duties of life. Small duties I will have. And once these are over, my son's education is over, my garden is ready. Just I have to put a few buckets of water once in a week. The major work is over. These things, the moment this is over, mind attains peace. Without external stability, inner life doesn't settle down. External stability is necessary. That's why Sri Ramakrishna is telling, see, in each one of our lives, we see we are given a small responsibility of looking after a small family of our own and do some contribution for the society and protection of nature. This is all what God is expecting and the nature is expecting from us. He has not given us huge work like looking after a country, a nation or a poor people to feed all the poor people in the country. No big responsibility is given. Just to educate 1 or 2 children of our own family and feed a few. We can easily do that by some means. So Sri Ramakrishna is telling, I take care of. Have no fear. Finish of the few duties on hand, then you will have peace. When the mistress of the house goes to bathe after finishing her cooking and other household duties, she won't come back. However, you may shout after her. The household lady, she does all her work from morning, getting up, preparing tiffin, cleaning the rooms, washing the clothes, everything she finishes. Noon food preparing, everything. Then finally she goes for bath. And when she goes to bathe, all things she has finished. Now people calling you, come here, this, that, she will not listen. Because she has finished. She need not turn back and she is confident, yes, I have done my duty. My duty is over. No more calling back. Let them do anything they want. So, means here, how it is applying, finish your duty. You need not turn back and see. Once they stand on their own legs, children stand on their own legs, finished. You need not interfere. They need not call you anymore. Because what they have to give you, they have given. What you have to give them, you have given. Now, only thing, you can totally devote your time and life for the higher attainments. Om Niranjanam Nityamanantarupam Bhaktanukampa Dhritavigraham Vai Ishavataram Parameshamidhyam Tam Ramakrishnam Shirasa Namami.